So this head unit is the Kenwood KDC W7044U, and this is an E11 Corolla 2000 range model, and most of the original controls are up in the top half of the dash here. They're still working. The actual item that needed removed to install the head unit was actually the original tape deck, which fitted in here. And when you remove the tape deck, it's actually really the head unit, and this top control module actually talks to the or previously talked to the tape unit, so that you can control the radio and so on from up here. What you do lose when you do this is you lose the control of your radio stations using these buttons. You still retain your trip computer, so you can still read your MPGs, your clock, and the outside temperature. So you don't lose any of that. You also lose volume control using this button. You lose that, but you do lose all the radio station selection functions. You can still reset the trip and so on as well. Just try and get this so you can see it. You can still cycle through the trip computer and so on. So the KDC 7044 head unit. It's a head unit that has the CD player behind the front face. So it's pretty neat actually, because the reason that I bought this is because first of all, I like the blue colours. It sort of looks different on the iPhone here. It looks kind of it almost looks a little bit more purpley, but it's a nice deep blue colour, and you can set it up so that it syncs with the music. It's up to yourself, it's your own preference. It comes with a USB port in the back and a cable then that you can extend the USB to any location of your choice. I know a lot of people tend to put them into the glove box, but because there's a free slot underneath the head unit here, I decided to install it in here. The other thing that it also has is an auxiliary cord as well, which just plugs into the back of the head unit again, which I haven't really been using a whole heap, because I can plug most of my music onto this 8 gig USB stick here. You can also plug an iPhone directly into here, and you can actually control the iPhone from the head unit. I can't show this because I'm actually recording it on my iPhone, but it gives you control over, you can do an artist search, album search, you can go through podcasts. It's pretty good, but you can select whether you want to control from the head unit or from the iPhone itself. So if you don't like the method of control from the head unit, you can still control all your music from the iPhone itself while it's plugged in to the head unit. So what I've previously done is I've used this this cable here, which is like a kind of one of those retractable USB iPhone compatible cables, and what I've done is I've taken out the original ashtray, which is in this location here. It just pops out, it just slides out, and I put a little bit of foam in here just so that I can slide the iPhone into this location here while it's hooked up to the head unit. So it's not the coolest setup in the world, but it works fine. And yeah, the head unit itself, so it only has a single colour. I know some of them, I think the 8044 Kenwood has control over the colours. It has multicolour control. I like the layout of this head unit because it doesn't have a USB slot in the front. It has the USB slot in the back, so you can put it in any location you want. Because I didn't like the way that a lot of the head units had the USB port here, which meant that if you had if you have a huge memory pen, it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. It's got two control buttons here. This controls the volume, mainly controls the volume. It does very little else. This here is your main control for navigating around the head unit. You can cycle through tracks on your USB pen. So this is an album by Rihanna I have going here, and to actually cycle through albums, it cycles through the albums on the head unit in just the same way that you have the folders laid out in the head unit. So if I click down here, it'll go into the next album. So cycling through different albums there, you'll see it going folder 41, that's the White Stripes. Folder 40 is again the White Stripes, Seven Nation Army, different album by them. And then an album by Washed Out. So it's pretty, I like the way that you can just cycle through albums up and down, and then you can cycle through the tracks left and right. So if I want to go to the next track and that album, I just click the right hand button and it goes through the tracks like that. So overall it's pretty sweet. Very, very happy with it. I originally just had a tape deck. To be honest, I haven't been using the radio a whole heap now because, or a whole lot, because I've been mainly listening to the music that's on my USB pen because it's so handy. It's also good because it also charges your phone, as it's if you plug your iPhone in, or indeed your iPod, you don't need an iPhone, it charges it as well, which is really sweet. So that's a quick overview of the W7044. If you have any questions, just drop me a message and I'll get back as soon as I can to you. The sound quality is very good. It does have some features, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it does have a feature where it improves the quality of digital, so the formats that like MP3 and WMA and AAC, which is the iPod format, it improves the quality of those using some trickery, and then the volume output's pretty good as well. You could tell the difference even just in the standard speakers, but actually replace the speakers in the back as well to make it sound a little bit better. So that's the overall summary of the head unit. As I said, just drop me a message if you have any questions about it. Okay.